Yeah. All right. You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
So one thing, I really, really, really loved the world as expressed through comics. Okay? And for me, that was like the window to see the world as it really should be. So for me, Europe was basically Tintin. So when my dad went to Europe, right? For me, the list I gave him was meet Tintin, talk to him, find out about how he is really, how
Wait,
is
that is real?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, this is that was my first grade. I'm in first grade.
Oh.
Okay, so and these are real conversations I had with my father that I still remember. Okay, now fast forward many years, I haven't changed much. Now I'm really interested in the clothing worn in these comics. Okay, so I need, and there was this one particular clothing that I thought was awesome,
I've
and
never seen any of them wear something nice.
well, I'll tell you now, and I can tell you specifically which comic also. All right, so there was this one particular piece of clothing that I thought was awesome, and I really needed it because none of us Indians wore it. Okay, and you couldn't find it. It's a jacket. All right, and so in this you can see Tintin in King Ottokar's Sketcher. I believe that's the one where he has this nice brown jacket. That was for me the inspiration, and there was this a zipper on it, actually facing upwards like this. Okay.
Oh, like a hoodie?
No, no.
Or like the
Yeah, so you could put your hands on it. That jacket and a zipper right in the front also. So
Oh,
I wanted that, and so I obviously looked around in Karondra for jackets. So guess what the shopkeeper says? Jacket വേണമെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങോട്ട് പോയാൽ മതി. Jacket is something else. Jacket is what women wear. Okay. So the word jacket turned into jacket into a completely different context. It's a thing women wear. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So then, at first I was like, "Wow, you have a jacket," and then when he showed me the jacket, obviously that didn't really suit me. Right. So then I decided I gotta make one. Right. I decided to make one, and so that's what happened. There was this one bag that had all the awesome things that my father brought from his trip in Europe. So we'd open it once in a while. We'd open it once in a while and just go through it and relive all his adventures in Europe. Okay, and then put it back because my mother would say, "Put it back." Okay, so we'd put it back. I'll try to take it out for the evening, and my mother will say, "No, put it back." Okay, we put it back. So that suitcase survived years and years. That's when one day I realized when I needed a jacket, I went into that suitcase and pulled it out and found, and I took this one really nice looking shirt actually. It was woolen and it was plaid. Okay, woolen and plaid shirt. You couldn't wear it in India because it was really hot. You'd be very hot wearing it. But I thought that was the perfect starting point for my jacket. So I took that, and this was a time when my mother's grip on that suitcase had softened a little. Okay, because I was probably in my third or fourth grade. So my third or fourth.
All the things inside it?
Oh yeah. So I took a scissor, and I basically started to use my mother's sewing machine that had just come in recently around that time, and decided to make a jacket, a real jacket. And so the features for jacket are the following: it had to have elastic on your wrist, so I sewed elastic on it. Then it had to have elastic around the waist, so I sewed elastic into the fabric. Okay, and then I cut these diagonal pockets, and I made a lining inside. Fourth or fifth grade. Okay, put it all ready, and then I could not find for the life of me a long zip for the front.
No zippers?
No zippers. So it was a shirt. It was just a shirt. So I decided to just go ahead and put nice buttons, nice cool looking buttons. Buttons I bought from Kadandra. Okay, and I just refashioned the collar also because I thought, oh, that looks like a
I know
shirt.
how to do this.
See, it's just imagination, just inspiration, basically, not imagination more than it's inspiration. Like I'm like, oh my god, that collar looks like a shirt. Cut it up and just made it look like smart looking thing. Okay.
Wow.
And this thing I started to wear. This was my main thing. Once I come from school, I'd be wearing my jacket. I'd walk around in my jacket. I'd walk around the neighborhood in my jacket.
And what your mom say?
My mom, they always let me do all these things, so it's just amusement, that's all, nothing more. But my neighbors were the one that were always amused because they would always start snickering. Only now that I look back and I realize the meaning of those snickerings, Because, okay, here comes Sunil and Suraj with their new things. Like, this today's jackets.
So it will always
Oh
follow you.
yeah. So I'd make something for Suraj also. So it's basically a pair
And
of
even
things.
just completely wear it with no question.
Oh yeah, no questions. We'd just wear it together. Just walk around. So the real story begins here. One day the jacket was lost. And I realized, and it came as a jolt. It's like a startling jolt.
How long did you wear it for? How long did you wear it for?
For a few months. Just few months, and then it was lost. Why? Because remember when I have a vacation, I always go to my native place, right?
Yeah.
And so I took the jacket as part of my things, my kit, to the native place, and I left. I realized, I started to think, okay, think. Where did I leave it? I remember it was in Bob Maman's house, my uncle's house in Charakal. Okay, and I left it there. And the thing is, I was nervous to even ask people about it because I knew that if I asked and if somebody found it, they would use it because it was that cool. Okay, so especially my cousins. So I really struggled to not even ask. I just hope that it was somewhere there, maybe in our guest bedroom, it's just tucked away in a corner. That's all I was looking for. So I waited a good 4 months from Christmas all the way to summer vacation to go back to Charakal, and I could not find it. And it was really sad because I was thinking, oh, this is horrible. It's almost like my Tarzan comics that got lost, which is a different story, by the way. Like, I lost this precious thing.
Didn't Chachin find them or something?
No. You're getting confused by the stories now. But anyway, this is the story from the source.
Oh, I thought she
Source.
was gonna end like they were using it as a model.
No, just don't jump into this. No, look, and then I could not find it, right? So I felt it was crushing. So I waited we went back, and then every time I'd come back to Charakal, from then on, my thing was always to find my jacket. And after a few more trips, I forgot about it completely. Until one fine day, many years later, I happened to be taking a bath in my uncle's bathroom because the main bathroom was not. I like the bathroom
How
upstairs.
old are you?
I was probably in my 10th grade by then,
Oh my god.
or 9th or 10th
Like
grade.
5 years past?
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 years would have passed. So I happened to take a shower bath in the Maman's bathroom, and I just happened to be taking a bath, putting soap, and I just happened to look to the side, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty familiar. And I continued to put soap, and I keep looking. It kept calling to me, like, what is this thing? And I'm like, what the? It was my jacket. And I'm like, why? What is it doing here? And why is it looking so strange? And I picked up this thing.
Wait, where was it?
It was hanging on a string where all the dirty rags are placed to dry. It was being used to mop the floors.
That's what I said.
It was dirty, scummy. It was like
Were
it
all
was,
the buttons there?
nothing was there. There was nothing there. It was so sad. I could not bear to examine it. I just saw it, and I finished the. That was the shortest bath ever. I walked out. I never looked back.
But like, didn't it look like a jacket at the beginning? So
Yeah.
why would it be used as a rag or like a mop?
So bad.
Well, they probably they don't know what to do with it, and they just.
They just look at me like, what is this? It's a shirt with some strange cuttings on it. You know. Oh, it's very soft. It's very soft. Okay, good for the rags. Done. Done.